I've never watched it all the way through, but I know it's a long fucking movie.
I'm 82 years old and I have to go to bed at 10. Fuck you!
Rip a finger off and shove it up my ass.
You always talk about the Fanboy Fight Club. Good evening, fanboys and girls. Welcome to the Fanboy Fight Club podcast. We may be a day late, but we're coming to you live on Twitch for the third time. Normally we're on Monday nights about this time, but due to life, we are forced to be on tonight, but we're happy to be with you. I'm Jason, joined as always by PC Gamer's Man Bun of the Year, Jake, Sony's head cheerleader, Jamar, the hater of all sports games, Mike, and of course the providing the refreshments for our E3 watch party, the ultimate barista, Wes.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
All right, thanks, Wes. So tonight's show is going to feature Jake's Trailer Trash, the return of Jamar's Reading Corner, which I think Mike is writing the story right now, and of course our feature bout on the Electronic Entertainment Expo, otherwise known as E3. So as I was saying a few minutes ago, fanboys and girls, let's throw a pallet on the bonfire, take a swig of Grandpap's Moonshine in the basement, and get ready for another edition of Jake's Trailer Trash.
Come on down to Jake's Trailer Trash!
Not gonna lie, I love the palette on the fire because I may or may not have done that at some point in time. Alright, so this week, for movies at least, I'm going to talk about two that unnecessary remakes that are happening that just got new trailers this week. First of all, there's Ben-Hur, which, I mean, like, why the fuck are you remaking that movie? Like, the first one came out in the mid-50s, Charlton Heston. Why remake that? Like, I don't know if they're trying to, and it seems like they're including Jesus more so than the original movie had him. Like, I know he was in there, like, at the very end, but this trailer is all about, like, hey, Ben-Hur knew Jesus. Like, the main character knew Jesus. Like, let's concentrate on that, which is way fucking dumb, in my opinion. Like, unless they just want to make a, Christian movie, like, and Mel Gibson can't get signed on to make Passion of the Christ 2, so they're just like, let's remake Ben-Hur. The other remake that is really bugging me is Pete's Dragon got a new trailer this week. A couple things about it. First of all, the only thing that's like the original is that there's a Pete and that there's a dragon named Elliot. Like, that's it. Everything else is different. Like, he was not abandoned in the woods. He's not some, like, wildling kid that's trying to be a mini Tarzan. He's not some stupid, like, government agency that's trying to, like, capture a dragon. Like, and the dragon itself, it looks like they tried to make him badass. Like, I don't know if they went like, hey, let's make him half Game of Thrones dragon, half toothless. But I don't know if you guys remember the original Pete's Dragon, but that was one doofy looking fucking dragon. Like, doofy as fuck, tiny little wings. Now he almost looks cool. Like, that kind of feels like that misses the point of the original. So those are the two movies that I wanted to rip apart. I'll keep it quick, but since it's E3, I'll do a couple of video game trailers that were just fucking awful. I know everyone is super happy about Kojima coming back, like, and I have to admit I'm super excited about it as well. But fuck, man, that was the dumbest fucking trailer. Like, baby in my arms, I'm crying. Yeah, I'm naked with a baby. Oh, baby's gone. There's handprints, black handprints. Mysterious floating bodies, dead fish and marine mammals. Like, the fuck, like, if you want to make a trailer to confuse people, they succeeded, but it doesn't generate the interest that it should when you can do it well. Like, you can make a mysterious trailer where nobody really knows what's going on, but still is intrigued in it, like Resident Evil 7. Like, hey, there's a horror game that they don't want to talk about what's actually happening in the game, but let's make it mysterious enough to have people interested, versus this stupid fucking, like, hey, here's some names that you know, so you should be interested in this game. The other one that I did think was kind of shitty, to me at least, was The Day's End, because or Days Gone. Was it Days Gone? I don't remember.
Days Gone.
Yeah, Days
Terrible
Gone.
choice, though. It's
Yeah,
up to you on that one.
the Last of Us meets Walking Dead with infinite ammo. Like, how much fucking ammo did that
And
guy
infinite
carry on
zombies.
him? Yeah, like I get it. Like I like the horde of zombies and that type of like panic that it causes in game, but there was no originality in that game whatsoever. I was super stoked about it when I saw the tiny little midget thing that tried to jump on him, but once they were like, oh, just so many zombies running after you, I was like, oh, it's Dead Rising with Walking Dead elements. Like I don't know what they're fucking going for on it, but I'm not too keen on that one. So I know that was a packed trailer trash, but I felt like I needed to throw a few games in there. And we're only 5 minutes into the show, so there's that. So I didn't take too long.
It's all right. Packing trailer trash is fun, so
Giggity.
don't worry about it. All right, awesome guys. All right, let's step out of the trailer, step out of the trailer park and into the ring for our main event. So the topic for today is the Electronic Gaming Expo, aka E3. So let's have an extremely dirty fight. Feel free to talk to shit on each other's excitement and crush each other's gaming wet dreams, and let's get it on. Ding ding. All right.
Oh, gosh.
So for the first question, I'm going to start with Wes. So what game are you most excited for that was announced or demoed?
There's actually two games I'm most excited for. The first one is South Park: The Fractured Butthole, because The Stick of Truth was a ton of fun and was hilarious, and the sequel looks like it's going to even up the ante on that one. The second one is one I know absolutely nothing about, and it was actually one that was brought up in Trailer Trash. But I think Death Stranding is something I'm immensely intrigued with, because I don't know what it's about, but that score, and it looked beautiful, and I loved all the dead things, and what's in the sky, I have no idea. It hooked me, and I cannot wait to see more about that game.
But like,
those are the
if you were looking at that game and it didn't have Norman Reedus as the person, and it wasn't Kojima introducing it, you would look at that game and you're like, what the shit are they trying to sell us? And you wouldn't be
Well, here's
intrigued.
the thing. I completely disagree with you, because first off, I don't like Norman Reedus. He was okay in Boondock Saints, but I don't like Walking Dead. I think Walking Dead's a terrible TV show.
Oh, it's fucking
People
shit.
put shit for him.
It's shit.
Yeah, it's a piece of dog shit. That show
Wow,
sucks.
I'm not the one pissing people off for change.
Right. And the second thing is, I've never been a huge fan of his games. Like, I'm not a Metal Gear Solid fan because I don't like stealth games. We've had this discussion. I don't like stealthing around in games. I just want to go beat the shit out of everything. So there's two things I don't like, and that trailer still has my interest and still makes me want to know more about it.
Mm.
All right, Jamar, what do you think? What was your favorite?
I guess I kind of looked at it this way. Pretty much everything Sony announced, I'm ecstatic for. Every game. I'm more excited to play right now. Watch Dogs 2 definitely has me intrigued. I know everyone hates how they did Watch Dogs 1 originally. It pretty much made it nothing like how the actual announced trailer was and everything, but this one actually has me really, really intrigued, so that's probably my most excited, I guess, a title. Outside of that, I mean, the list is long. I can go through everything. Wildland looks awesome. South Park Fractured Butthole looks amazing. I'm looking at my notes here. Horizon, God of War, Detroit Become Human. Spider-Man looks amazing. Resident Evil 7, everything that Sony pretty much announced was
you
amazing.
just wrote down every game like as Sony announced it, and you're like, yes, this is my favorite. Yes, this is my
That's exactly
favorite.
what he did,
Yes,
yeah.
this is my
No,
favorite.
I mean, so I wrote down initially my favorite, like before Sony's event was Watch Dogs 2. Wildland looked pretty awesome. Those were more, I don't know, I guess those were my actual. But then I seen the Sony event, and it was just like, yep, everything that was announced. Pretty much it.
I'm kind of cautionally optimistic with Watch Dogs because I didn't mind the first one. I didn't think it was as groundbreaking and mind-blowing as what it was kind of billed to be. But kind of like, I forget who made the point on our group chat, but like when the first Assassin's Creed game came out, it was really cool, but it got really repetitive, and it was I kind of had the same feeling playing that as I did playing Watch Dogs. But then the second Assassin's Creed game totally knocked it out of the park. So if Ubisoft kind of does something similar, I guess, in that aspect, then I think it'd be good.
Right. That's kind of what has me excited about it is Ubisoft has this pattern of like making a first game that's like the basis is cool, the idea of it's cool, but then it just kind of doesn't do the same like what it lived up to be. And then the second version comes out and it's amazing. The setting's awesome in Watch Dogs 2. Main character, he's an actual like community type hacker instead of this guy who's just like, I hate everybody. I'm gonna hack just because I can. It just seems like it's gonna be an amazing game.
I feel like Ubisoft came out of left field because I didn't like pretty much most of their games. I've never been Ghost Recon fan, and I'd rather play Battlefield or Call of Duty over their Tom Clancy games. But
Didn't you
Division is
lose
great.
your
South Park is great. What?
Didn't you lose your shit over the Division? Like you're saying
Yeah,
that
that's
you
what I'm
didn't.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Is they came out of nowhere because all of a sudden they're doing phenomenal work, and I have like a ton of their games, and they killed it at E3 this year. Like I'm excited for a lot of their games. And all I'm saying is I used to hate Ubisoft. I mean, they also made a shitty Ninja Turtles game, and now they're awesome. So where the hell did that all come from?
I mean, I would say they've always had the pedigree of making good games. I mean, every Tom Clancy game that's come out before, up until now, it seems like they kind of ruined some of the games. Like the Rainbow Siege, just I don't even want to discuss that game. But Splinter Cell was probably like my favorite franchise. Of course, you don't like stealth games, so I can understand why you didn't like that. But it was like it offered a unique kind of twist to Metal Gear without like the crazy over the top, crazy floating people and all that shit. So I thought Ubisoft has always had the ability. It just seems that they're really coming into their groove right now.
All right, Mike, what do you think?
What was my favorite reveal for E3?
That was a question.
Sorry, I've been a little distracted by totally not writing the story for tonight in the last 5 minutes. At first, I was going to say Resident Evil, because it looks really creepy and cool, but the more and more I watch the trailer, the new Spider-Man game just looks so good. And it looks like it's taken all of the great elements from all of the games and kind of mixed and matched them to eliminate a lot of the shitty ones. So that way it's just going to be phenomenal and blow us all away, even though it has no link to the movie, but aside from the giant white spider, it looks exactly like the movie costume. So I don't know if they're just like, oh, that costume looked really cool, so we're going to use that and just change it around so Marvel doesn't sue us. Or what, but that is probably the top out of everything that I can't wait to play. Like I said, Resident Evil is amazing. I downloaded the demo. I need to play that here, hopefully tonight or tomorrow. I mean, Batman VR is going to make Jamar super happy because I have to waste $400 now. And there wasn't a whole lot else that was like mind-blowing that I didn't already know about. Like, I'm not a big God of War fan, so the God of War reveal wasn't like, oh my god, I need to have this game. It looked cool, and talking to Wes and Jamar, even though no one heard him, about throwing the kid off the mountain being, a deal breaker. If they didn't do it, we won't buy it. Other than that, most of the other games had already been announced that I'm really excited for.
Hey Mike, I will say there was I'm trying to find it now, but I can't. I passed through it earlier today. There was a thread on NeoGAF, and it was like the developers and Insomniac talking about like the process of making this game, and it apparently is supposed to be closely related to the movie in some way. Like they didn't really go into much detail, but they did say it's similar. But then it said it's like focusing on Peter Parker plus Spider-Man, so you'll see like both sides of the story, which was kind of cool. But apparently Marvel's working with them pretty closely in making this game, so
it makes sense. They don't want to release a shitty game, especially with them just getting the rights to Spider-Man back in the movies. They don't want to go and have this shitty game come out that looks so much like it's going to be the movie character. Because I saw like an HD screenshot of his suit in the game, and aside from the white accents, it looks identical to the Civil War suit. It's got the same kind of lines, everything.
And there was even the part in the trailer of the game where he like squints his eyes, and you can almost see that like it has the same
Aperture
kind of like
lenses.
aperture setting.
I'll be honest, I kind of like the fact that it's not based off of the movie. Like, if it incorporates some of the elements, it's fine. But I mean, I kind of like that idea just because the movie-based games don't always do as well, and they have to follow a certain script, so they don't take maybe as many chances or liberties with it. So I kind of prefer it to be kind of its own standalone game. I think it'll make it more fun. Because some of the other older Spider-Man games were fun to play, but if you've seen the movie, you know exactly how it's going to end. So there isn't that element of excitement to it. I guess you're just kind of like blah playing through the movie that you watch. So I'm a fan of that.
So is that Resident Evil going to be first person now?
I don't know. Everything I read is first person, but at the end of the trailer, when it did like the freaky like jump around thing, it definitely showed a lot of third person shots. So maybe you'll get to go back and forth.
Yeah.
And, like, choose what you want to do.
I think it's got to be first person if it has full VR support. So
well, yeah, maybe if you're playing on VR, it'll be first person, but you can play it on console as third person, like the normal ones.
Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy is doing that where it's split. You can play certain parts on VR and you jump into a different character, but when you're not using VR, then you're third person.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an on-the-rail shooter like they used to do. Was that like Deadly Silence or something like that?
Oh, God. It looked way better than that, so let's hope not. All right, so Jake, what were your favorites?
I mean, favorite reveal that like we didn't really know about. I don't really. Nothing really caught me off guard where I was like, holy shit, that's actually happening. Other than Spider-Man, that one kind of caught me from left field. Biggest like, hey, let's show you something we've never shown you before. You all know that I got a huge nerd boner for that Zelda gameplay. Like, ugh. And they've been talking so much. Yeah, I didn't watch the Nintendo Direct or the Nintendo Treehouse thing, but I went back and watched that trailer, and it's insane because watching it and then he changes outfits and it looks like there's an armor system and each item can have a different stat, so you're going to be switching items. And like I know Mike, you said, hey, I want Zelda Skyrim, and like this is way close to that, man. Like it looks so good. And I've been reading interviews since then with people, and they're saying that they're adding certain it's his main item that he uses in this game is tech based, not magic based. So they're trying to get away from that. And then like that shot at the very end where it's the Master Sword, and then it transitions into the logo for the game, and it's all rusted and shit. Like that has me more intrigued than the Death Stranding trailer does. Just that one snippet of like, why the fuck is the Master Sword rusted? Like, what the fuck happened? Are we gonna have to restore it? Like, what's going on? Like, so I think that was my biggest moment. There are definitely things out of the other press conferences that I really liked. I know you guys kind of hate sports games and stuff, but FIFA 17 looks super good.
I'll play the demo, and then after 5 minutes, I'll have my fill of sports games for the year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's that. Sony knocked it out of the park. Sony just destroyed everyone. I mean, when you open with God of War, like you just know it's just going to snowball from there. And not gonna lie, yeah, I'm not the biggest God of War fan in the world. Like they're great games and everything, but I got kind of tired of the quick action events and stuff. But they pulled me back in by getting the Norse mythology tied into it. Like I'm all about that shit right now. Yeah, sure. Blame it on that. But yeah, and I am super excited that Resident Evil is going back to being a horror game. The last couple games, Resident Evil 5 and 6, whether it's in Africa or where was 6 at? Japan,
and
I think 5 was in Africa. Yeah, but
5 was in Africa.
Yeah, and it's just
super racist, and everyone got butthurt because all the zombies were black, and you were shooting them in the head. And it's like, oh no.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, there are white people in South Africa.
Right. And
someone gave
they were all shooting the black people. Did you not play that game?
That's
I'm just super glad that they're going back to the slower paced, action. Because even Resident Evil 4, which is hands down one of the best games ever, top 20 at least, was very action based, but it still had elements of the traditional horror games that they lost in 5 and 6. So the fact that they're bringing that back, I lost my shit a little bit about. Mostly because I tuned into the stream, like I lost my connection and tuned back in, and I didn't hear anyone talk about what it was. I just saw like the last like 30 seconds of the trailer, and then the reveal that it's like the 7 shows up and it turns to Resident Evil 7. I lost my shit, like not knowing that that's what it was going into it.
Well, that's just it.
But
Going into it, you didn't know. They didn't talk at all during that thing until like maybe like 7 minutes worth of actual stuff.
yeah,
Like they talk in between every like 5 trailers just to introduce like the next set of trailers, and didn't actually tell us what it was. Everything we did, if you didn't know what the game was ahead of time, until that title hit, you were kind of just left wondering like, what the fuck am I watching? I thought it was going to be Silent Hill the way it played, 'cause it looked like that PT demo that they released last year or 2 years ago.
I agree with Jake. I'm excited that it is going back to the horror roots because 4, I also agree here, which is weird, is one of the best games. It's a phenomenal game. And Ferguson, the game, I mean, Resident Evil 5 was okay. I mean, it's more of an action-packed game. And Resident Evil 6, someone literally gave it to me, and I lost it. I still have no idea where that game went, and I kind of wish I did because I would try it out. But I am excited that
Jamar
it's back.
who gave it to you and you lost it?
I saw Jamar's Assassin's Creed, though.
Oh.
But
I mean,
I
6.
would
I don't know. I tried to play 6. I couldn't keep it keep me interested. I went and I had one of my buddies like convince me, oh yeah, play it online with me, it's great. And I got maybe I think a third of the way into the story, and it wasn't enough to where I stopped playing the other games I was playing to keep playing it. Maybe now that's coming to PS4, I'll think about it.
can we talk about the craziness that is Lego Dimensions? Like, holy
That
crap!
they're just taking every fucking
Everything.
thing possible.
Everything.
I'm not buying it until there's a turtle set. When that happens,
There will be though.
Well,
Like
There
the
won't
way
be,
they're
because
going.
Lego Box has the rights to Turtles.
Uh,
Lego lost the rights.
I don't know, but Lego doesn't have rights to make anything Sega, and yet Sonic is still in their game.
Yeah, but guess what? They probably obtained the toy rights to make Legos because they make the packs that you buy, and they're like this big, and you get the little person and like some funky little thing, and you put it all together,
Yeah.
and then it breaks as you're putting it on the fucking portal thing. Then you get pissed and you glue it all together, and then you can never take it apart again.
Right, but no, they're nabbing everything, and I was so like that trailer they showed. You're like, holy, what? They got that? They got that? They got that? Like, they have freaking Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Harry Potter, the Ghostbusters reboot, which I'm not really excited about, but it's cool that they got the rights to it. They're making one of my friends is at E3 this week, and they just sent me a text. Let me find it real quick. But they're just grabbing everything they can, man. It's insane. They're getting a Beetlejuice. They got Beetlejuice, dude. Like, losing my shit. I'm like, if you find one of those at E3, if you can nab one, like, just break the case and steal it for me. Like, I'm trying to convince them to do that. Like,
I'm sure that'll
that was
happen.
amazing.
Get banned from E3 for life.
Worth it.
but it's, God, like, that is insane. And then also, kind of along the lines of, like, random shit that, like, Crash Bandicoot, like, holy crap. Like, I mean, I would have preferred, like, a full game, but the fact that they're adding it into Skylanders and they're remastering the first 3 games that will come out on one disc, like, that's got me stoked.
I don't know. Like, I'm excited that Sony's getting it back, but the fact that they're just remaking the old ones and adding them to a shitty game I'm not going to play, it went from, like, I was freaking out to instantly I was just like, I don't care. I'll go play them on my PS3 where I fucking bought them all digitally. I should be able to play on my PS4, but God forbid Sony fucking make it so I can buy shit digitally and play it on every fucking goddamn device I buy of theirs.
It's a sell processor, man.
Because you're not buying it from the same store or anything like that, right?
Right.
So
I mean, I'm totally buying it from the PlayStation 3 store, not the PlayStation store.
Well, I mean, I will say with the remaster, I'm cautiously optimistic. I hope it's just not like, hey, we made it format and work on the PlayStation 4. They're going to actually use the term remaster. I hope they go in, maybe update the textures and stuff like that.
No,
I think
it's
it'll be
all
pretty
polygons look like shit.
But I
Oh no,
honestly,
like the impression they gave was like a full remaster. Like if they
right.
made
Oh, I
if they
know.
made a model to put him into Skylanders, you better bet that that might be the model that they do with the remaster. Like
If they do
Right,
that,
right.
I'll be legitimately excited for it. But until I see a gameplay trailer where he doesn't look like a bunch of shitty PS1 graphic polygons, I don't give a fuck.
And I think the only reason they actually got to make this game or do the remasters is just because they were putting them in Skylander. Like I feel like Activision was like, look, we'll go ahead and do that, but you're gonna have to like obviously advertise for us that he's gonna be in Skylander and try and like sell it to adults. That's why I think it's funny that they put him in Skylander because none of these kids right now know who Crash Bandicoot is.
I
To me,
don't.
it
None
just
of the
kind of
kids.
makes no sense.
None of the kids really knew who Spyro was when they released Skylanders, and he's been relegated to like this side character in his own game, which is kind of fucking hilarious.
It's
But
pretty sad.
Considering he had how many games on PS1?
Yeah, Spyro the Dragon. Good game.
Too many games. All right, so we'll move on to the next question. For this one, I'm going to start with Mike. I have a feeling we'll probably all be in agreement on this one, just because we're all Sony fanboys. But in your opinion, like, which system, what platform has the best exclusives?
I mean, right now, hands down Sony, because what Microsoft do? Hey guys, we got another Gears, but it's still not made by those people who made Gears fucking amazing all those years ago on our system that worked properly online. And oh, by the way, we got Halo's Wars, which nobody liked because they thought it was a Halo game and then realized it was a real-time strategy game because reading's hard and not seeing that it says on the fucking package. And other than that, I don't know what Xbox exclusives they have because they've lost Titanfall, which what do you do anyway? I mean, the first one was a disappointment, so unless they add like 7 extra maps and more game modes, I don't care.
Titanfall was literally just Overwatch with mechs. Like every single thing, like people running on walls, people having grappling hooks, like it's just Overwatch with mechs. Like third
Which
person
is
Overwatch.
I liked the mech things.
Overwatch.
As a kid, Mech Warrior was the shit. Like I fucking played that for hours. I had no clue what the goddamn goal was. I was just blowing shit up.
Titanfall
And-
came out first, so it really
Yeah,
be the other way around.
Yeah, it would be like the other way around. But oh yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, they lost Titanfall. Tomb Raider is usually a delayed release on PS4, so we'll probably see the Tomb Raider sequel here in the next year or so make it to PS4. That's the only thing I can think of that they have left. Everything else is either for both or for PlayStation, which for the longest time it was looking like they were both going to have maybe like 3 exclusives, and then Sony's just like, oh, we're going to have exclusive Spider-Man, we're going to have this supposedly exclusive Batman VR for the PlayStation VR, we're going to bring back God of War, we're going to have
Days
other,
gone.
yeah, a bunch of other shit that I don't fucking remember because so much went down yesterday. I just remember us all yelling at you because every fucking 5 seconds you'd be like, oh, this game! And we'd be like, we're behind you, you dickhead! And you just fucking do it every time and say, oh, I forgot. As if
Set your internet up,
there's
man.
a
Set
fucking
your
dog
internet.
just yelling on the screen.
I guess it's basically
Riley, what
fair
is
to
going
say
on
like,
with this?
yeah, Microsoft's getting their ass whooped. That's really what it is. Like, what developer would want to get in bed with Microsoft at this point when they're literally selling like PlayStation 4 is selling 2-to-1 to Xbox One right now? It's kind of like not even worth it. So I think that's really what's hurting them. And they don't have they don't really have a lot of like first party studios that make high quality games. So
True. Well, it's because most of them, they bought the franchises from them.
yeah,
Like all of their like big main ones, like Halo and Gears, both are no longer with their original developer.
and that's
So,
why Sony's smart. They buy the studio and not just like the
License.
rights or the license for the game. It's Microsoft. They basically last year or last generation with like the Xbox 360 was like, hey, we don't have to make exclusive games. We'll just make exclusive like deals with third party, and it was cool because they were selling systems, but now they're not. Most people are just kind of like, okay.
But hey, man, you can trade in your Xbox One giant VCR from 1980, and you can get a smaller 1999 Xbox One VCR this Christmas, and then next Christmas you can get the DVD player version, which has got twice the power.
I'm not gonna lie. The the pirate game that they threw out there randomly, the Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves,
I
yeah.
kind of want to play that shit.
we all talked about like us all playing it. Like that'd be
Yeah.
fun.
I just have to
But
go buy an Xbox One once the price drops when they release the Slim.
right? I want to know who in marketing thought it was a good idea. Hey guys, at E3, let's announce both our new system for this year and our new system for next year at the same time, because people are totally going to buy this one and not wait for the better one.
Right.
Well,
Like,
it shows an utter lack of confidence in their game right now. They're in so much trouble because they announced this system. They're like, hey, slimmer model, power supply built in, $299, coming this holiday season or August, I believe they said. And then they announced the other console, and they're like, hey, we got an even better console next year. And Sony's like, we're going to say a lot about Orlando, and then we're going to say maybe like 10 more words. Here's all our games. Like, that's confidence. That oozes like swagger.
They were like
That's
the
Sony.
dude that like walks into the club and doesn't say a word to you, and you just instantly want to drop your panties to him, compared
Whoa.
to like Microsoft, which was like the little like shy guy in the corner, just like, oh, you're a girl.
It's like, here, look at everything I've done. I'm so cool. Please like me.
And like honestly, if they did Halo Wars 2 well, they could have a huge hit on their hands. But the problem is they mishandled the first one so badly. Like RTS games are huge, but they never translate to console wells. Like the StarCraft 2 is one of the best like competitive esports games right now. It has some of the highest, per win, cash amounts of any other game, and they just throw it out like on a console. You're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. I kind of feel like they should have just made it like a Windows game or something,
This time
Yeah.
they did though. It's for both. It's for Windows 10 and
every game they're going
Xbox.
to do now is going to be on both platforms, which makes sense, but that's just their way of saying, like, yeah, don't worry about how many consoles we're selling, guys.
Yeah,
It's on
you
everything.
can totally get this on
RTS
your
games.
PC.
Yeah, RTS
I
games
gotta-
don't play on consoles. You're right, Jake. I mean, look, think of Tom Clancy's End War, an RTS game, and that's pretty much the only Tom Clancy game that hasn't had a sequel, right?
Yeah, like there's been a couple RTS games that are okay on consoles, but they're kind of like theoretically, Sid Meier's Civilization was a lot of fun, the one that they
Oh,
put on
dude,
consoles.
Sid Meier's was so great on PS3.
Yeah,
I
but
can't wait for them
it's
to eventually put one on
it's
PS4.
also kind of on this cusp of not being quite as much of an RTS as like say Command and Conquer games or StarCraft or anything like, or even the old Warcraft games. But Command and Conquer was solid when one of them came out on PlayStation 1. I think it was the first one came out on PlayStation 1, and that was done well because it was just you were pretty much using a mouse the whole time with the control pad. But you can't get the macros that you need to be competitive on a console. Like the macros that people make to be competitive in StarCraft 2 are absolutely insane, and you can't do that on a console controller.
So, I mean, are we pretty much all in agreement then that, I mean, Sony definitely wins it as far as exclusive titles go? I mean,
Yep.
does anybody
That's
have
what
anything
I'm
else
sure,
that they think? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Alright.
realistically, I don't think you have to be a fanboy at this point to realize they won.
Right.
It amazes me too because it's a complete 180 from when the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 came out. Just how everything was Xbox and they had Halo and Gears and people just didn't really know about these Sony titles, but then kind of slowly they gained steam, and when people started to realize can't really do things on the Xbox like you can on the PlayStation, and when developers started to take advantage of that, I think that's what eventually Sony just kind of won the slow race like they said they were going to. To them it wasn't a race, it was a marathon. And I think that's the Xbox is kind of slowly fading out from public opinion. But
Well, it did also help that at the beginning of that marathon, they weighed 600 pounds, compared to now where you can get a PlayStation for $300.
So
Right, but at the same time with that though, Mike, this working from GameStop though, that PlayStation that cost 600 pounds came with a Blu-ray player. It came with built-in Wi-Fi. Or that Xbox, you had to buy that stuff extra on top of it. And by the time you spent all that money, you're at the same price as the PlayStation, or spending $100 more. They just put it all in the box. I mean, I'm just saying.
I was an advocate for the price because at the time Blu-ray players were around $500 too. So
and honestly, with the popularity of the 360, had Microsoft actually put the HD DVD player in with the 360 originally, the Blu-ray probably wouldn't even be a thing right now. I
No,
mean,
we know.
that and the Disney license is pretty much what sold Blu-ray. So I don't know.
I don't know.
But
I feel
anyway,
like Blu-ray would have won anyway because it was higher, it had more space, and was just a better format in general.
but
All right.
we'll move on to the next question. So Jake, you can start this one off. So out of everything that you saw, what's demoed, what's came out, like what do you not give a shit about, or what do you think is gonna bomb come once it's released?
I don't. The only one I'm kind of hesitant about is that the Detroit Become Human game. Like that
Oh, dude,
one,
that looks amazing.
I
What?
think it does. I think it looks good, but for some reason I get like the original Watchdog vibes out of it. Like it looks so amazing right now.
Oh, dude, no, it's totally Heavy Rain.
It's Quantic Dream, dude. They
I don't
deliver.
know, but I see everyone loves Heavy Rain, and I fucking hated it. I fucking hated it.
Shame on you.
It was the fucking
Wow.
worst twist ever, by the way.
Whoa.
Like, fuck that
You,
dumb shit. Like,
you and your filthy man bun.
yeah, right?
Fucking out of here.
No, like, just, like,
I'm
I don't know,
appreciate
I
the
don't-
fact that you could whatever you did affected the outcome. How could you like that?
it didn't,
What
though.
other game?
It did though. It changed the way the story.
changed the way the story
was
No,
in
but
general.
at the
Just
end of
it
the
had same
game-
ending.
At the end of the game, it's always the same. It's Mass Effect 3. Oh, you get this big change at the end. Nope, you get 2 different endings. Like, and there was
8
even...
different endings to that game. I know because I had to fucking get all 8 of them to platinum the fucking game.
You douchebag.
Yeah, no. It's I'm not sold on it yet. But the other one that I'm kind of like on was that everyone else seems to be kind of losing their minds about a little bit. Is like I said, kind of during the trailer trash, the Dead Stranding game. Like, give me more than a 30-second fucking cinematic. Like, give me something. I don't even know what kind of game it is. Like, it's good for building it up, but it could be a shitty.
Whale Hunter.
No, it could
You
be
realize,
the biggest piece of shit ever.
but you realize, like,
Could be.
he just put together, like, the studio, Kojima did. Like, I'm sure they're, like, very, very, very early on. They showed us what they had. It's just kind of...
But that's
can't, like,
fine.
get mad at
But
him
but
for
the
that.
problem is they didn't need to bring him out. Like, they could have literally just had him come out and be like, "Hey, we're working on a new game and it has Norman Reedus in it," and left the stage, and
Look,
everyone would have lost their mind. They didn't need to
I mean,
give
it's
us
I
a
mean,
amazing.
it's
stupid
just
game.
so-
Anyway, the only difference is now we have to see Norman Reedus naked.
Right.
But like,
It's
I'd
pretty much
rather
just
not have-
Sony showing that they're having. That's
Yeah,
pretty much it.
But the problem is everyone's freaking out about it. We don't know what kind of game it is. You know, Wes is freaking out about it. Like, hey, this might be a really good game, but watch, it's going to be a stealth game, and he's going to hate it. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
we don't know what it is.
I mean, what's he gonna do? Hide in dead whale bodies as stealth?
I mean, it could be.
I mean,
You're
dude's
absolutely right.
naked.
It could suck. Shut up. It could suck. Here's the thing. We don't know, and that's what is exciting about it, and that's what was so intriguing about the damn trailer. We don't know what it's going to be.
Right.
Honestly, I think Kojima has earned the right to come up with something kind of crazy because I mean most of it. I love Metal Gear, so I guess I'm kind of a fanboy in that. I mean, every Metal Gear I've played that he's been a part of, I loved. Jeez, I can't talk today. Metal Gear 3 is probably one of my favorite games I've ever played in my life. Snake Eater. I mean, it is an amazing game from start to finish. So
Like-
I mean, I'm all in, especially if it applies any of what made Metal Gear so great.
But that's the thing. Kojima likes to change things so much every time. Like, if you look at Metal Gear Solid 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, none of those are the same fucking game. I think the closest similarities are 1 and 2. But the thing is, he likes to try new shit, which is good, but it can also fuck things up. Like, I did not like Metal Gear Solid 4. Like, it just...
delivery. Yeah, it was basically a movie, kind of, but
I mean, it
was
was.
that a game? I fell asleep after the 3-hour cutscene.
Yeah,
Still watched it.
and he fixed it with Metal Gear Solid 5, but so I put Kojima in my pantheon of great creators that need to have someone sitting right over their shoulder and saying, "No, Like
So
Nah, man.
he's with George Lucas. Really?
he's with
You're
George
including him?
Lucas. He's with George Lucas. He's with Tim Burton. He's with fucking
Zack Snyder.
yeah. Like there's people that are great at creating things, but they need someone to rein them in. And with his own studio, it worries me. Like I'm not saying it's going to suck. Like I'll probably eat crow when it comes out, and it'll probably be great. But everyone's losing
Oh,
their
we will
fucking
eat
mind
it.
over it. Yeah,
Spoon by spoon.
everyone's losing their
Question
mind
was-
over it, and there's
Spoon
not
feeding.
enough of a reason. There's not enough reason to lose your mind over this game yet.
There's two things. He's making a PlayStation exclusive, and it's Kojima. That's it. Like that's the reason why most people are excited about it. To be
But
honest,
it doesn't have Del Toro, and I figure, and that's kind of a negative.
I mean, he hasn't had Del Toro before in all of like the Metal Gear, so
Yeah,
I see
but
what you was-
we were
Every game
supposed
Del
to
Toro.
we were supposed to get a Silent Hill with Kojima and Del Toro.
That's not,
And the
Hey,
fact that
that's
that's
Konami's
not
fault.
happening makes me very
Konami.
sad.
that's Konami being a cocksucker. It's not his fault.
right.
Yeah. They're like, hey,
But
we're gonna kick you out and we're gonna get rid of this game.
you can't say that because you don't know enough about it that it's going to be like the biggest bomb out of all of them. I mean, there's
I wasn't
clearly
saying
some games.
I wasn't saying
I forgot that was
it's
even the
going.
question at this point.
Yeah, that was the question. What did you see that you thought was going to be like a failure, like a bomb?
My view of that was like everyone's losing their shit over this, and they really shouldn't yet.
Oh, well, that's not what the question was, sir.
That wasn't.
No, the
that
question
wasn't at all
was-
what the question was.
Well,
But
the
it's-
question
it's
was,
close
what
enough.
disappointed you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's your personal feeling, I guess. But so
His personal feelings.
I'm curious if Jamar is gonna have something he hates on account that he loves everything. So
Right?
Jamar-
The entire day yesterday, it was just him freaking
Oh
out.
my
Dude,
god!
I'm sorry. I play video games because I want to see like what someone else like has in their mind, and I'll appreciate it. Like I may not like every game. Like fucking Homefront was
Homefront.
so bad, and it was mainly because it was broken. But like I'll play any game that comes out, and I'm not like saying that makes me better of a person or anything, but that's just one thing that I
He
like.
just went like full video game vegan on us.
No, I'm just saying I just like to give at least a game a try. So I normally don't try to judge anything, but with that said, the only game that really kind of looks like to me is a disappointment, and I guess is really not a surprise, is Dishonored 2, because everyone made a huge uproar about the original Dishonored. I went out, bought the definitive edition, I put it in my PlayStation 4, played it for about 35, 40 minutes, and was like, this just isn't cool. And I thought it was because it was a last generation game, playing it now and playing all the next gen games, it was kind of like going back. But then seeing this, and it just kind of like, it looks the exact same. So to me, that's my biggest disappointing
No,
game.
no, man. They're going from BioShock to BioShock Infinite, man. That's not the same game.
Right, it just that was the only one that really disappointed me. And I thought there was one more, but nah, that's it. Everything else looked awesome.
Well, at least you had one. I'm impressed you had one.
Yeah.
All right, how about Wes?
There's two. The first I'm going to mention is Scalebound. What the fuck was that?
Oh,
that
shit.
looked terrible. I know that's just another game that Microsoft showed off that just looked really bad. Also went on for too long, and you really shouldn't give that long of a demo.
A lot of the demos were too long.
Absolutely. And the other one was actually brought up earlier that you guys are really excited about that I'm not as excited about because it's not what I was expecting. So I was very disappointed by it. After months of speculation, Sony Europe putting out a picture of Crash Bandicoot popping up in Naughty Dog's last game, and all this talk of Crash Bandicoot's coming back, I didn't want a remaster. There's already so many remasters on the shelf. We don't need another remaster. Plus, I still have the 3 games literally in my closet right now. I want a new Crash Bandicoot game that's run by Sony and not run. Was it Activision that owned them? That made all the
Yeah.
shitty ones. I don't want an Activision one. They probably still own them. I'm sure Sony can buy it. But I want a new damn Crash Bandicoot. That's it.
So, to come back to that, because that's the same feeling. I was really excited. Obviously, too bad the audio.
Yeah, I
just
mean,
kinda
I wish
broke up 'cause I
God
literally
you freaked
almost
out.
jumped out the window when I fucking seen the Crash shadow and everything. But I think what this is them really testing the waters before they put the money into actually making another game.
That makes sense.
I'm sure they want to see, like, do people really want it, or is it just like, hey, yeah, I want backwards compatibility. Yeah, I got it. I'm not gonna play any old games. So I feel like that's what Sony's really testing the waters, and that's why I'm buying the fucking remaster even if I don't play it, just because I want them to see that we really do want that.
I think people
Oh,
they can see that because when he walked out and you could see Crash's shadow, literally the entire crowd stood up and was screaming the loudest they screamed the entire show. And then they're like, "Oh, remaster's coming out," and it was like dead.
It was those cricket.
So-
cricket.
Yeah.
cricket.
But at the end
Jamar's-
of the day, it's about the money.
Jamar is buying the remaster version for the same reason I went to go see the Warcraft movie. Like, it might not be good, but I'm gonna fucking support it. By the way, it was
Might not
fucking
be
awesome.
anymore.
You guys, like, I'm so glad that it made so much money in China because it means we're getting a second one. Like, that shit beat Force Awakens' entire run. Like,
Oh, Jesus Christ!
China really hates black people. Sorry, Jamar.
Wait, I'm confused.
Wow, that got dark still because
It was Finn. Like,
trying to hate black people. All right, yeah.
no, like, seriously. So that
they
was
didn't
what
see it
they're.
because of Finn.
Yeah,
were
they.
butthurt about he was big on the poster, so they made him small on the poster. So
Yeah,
like,
they
fuck
made him-
you.
Yeah, they
I
downplayed him in the poster, and then he was a main part. So everyone was like, "No, why would we want to watch that dude?" Like, pretty much,
But
it's
they're
like
okay
it was.
with white people playing Asian people.
You're
Much less
fucking
whole
right.
universe. And Chinese people are like, "Nope, I'm out."
Yeah, no,
Oh.
like, and I'm so like, yeah. So I definitely get they're definitely testing the waters, and they're seeing if this will be successful enough. So I'm probably with Jamar. Like, I'll probably buy the remaster because unlike Wes,
will
like,
too.
I don't hang on. I have a couple of PlayStation games, but I got rid of a bunch of them back in the day. And some of them I got rid of were, the Crash Bandicoot games because the shitty ones left such a bad taste in my mouth that I was like, fuck it,
Yeah.
and I threw them all out. I was like, no, like, I'm done with this. And now, being a couple years older, a decade later, I'm back in. Like, I want to play those games again. But
I
also,
kept them.
it made me really wary because I heard about the part where it was in Uncharted before I played it. So I was super stoked. And then I played it in the Uncharted game, and I was worried. Like, those controls fucking suck now. Like, I hope they do something about that because, like, that was
Yeah.
janky
It's
as
honestly
shit.
miserable.
not that bad. I just played Crash Bandicoot with my son 2 weeks ago, and it doesn't play like it did in Uncharted.
Right. It seemed to be a little bit off, and like, it was just weird. Like, I know I did a lot better in that, and it just like I fucking sucked at it.
Anytime that you play a game within a game, it's never right. I mean, think about, like, in Grand Theft Auto, those little mini games that you can play on the TV. Like, it never really feels like you have as much.
Yeah, but this is
control
Naughty
over it
Dog.
as you
Naughty
do
Dog's the ones
yeah.
who made Crash. They should know how to fucking do it.
Right, I'm just saying, but I mean, you're playing a game within a game. Like, it's just there's,
let that
there's always
sink in.
something lost in the translation. Right? Yeah.
For sure.
There's a game
I'd
inside a
It's a
game,
game within a game.
which technically was the
Gameception.
game itself because it was a mini game. It's just a lot going on there.
All right, Mike. What about you?
I think the biggest letdowns or biggest flops are going to be. I think it's going to be Gears of War. I think Microsoft's riding really hard, hoping that Gears 4 kind of revamps the series after Judgment didn't do so great, and being there like, oh look, Marcus Phoenix is in it. It's totally linked to the old ones, guys. Love it, please. And I feel like it's not going to happen. I feel like you're going to have that like select group of people who will buy any piece of shit that they put on a disc and label it as Gears, who will buy it, but most like the people who like really love those games but didn't like anything after Epic was out of the picture aren't going to waste their money on it because there's so much more out there now that you can go and spend your money on. Like all next year, from like start to finish, there's games coming out. It's not just a race to who can win November anymore. It's an entire year of games, which is great, but my wallet's not going to like it. But it just makes it so Gears is going to get lost in the mass of it because no one's going to want to play a shitty attempt to bring back a dead series.
Am I the only one who ever had a problem with the fact that Marcus Phoenix looks exactly like the guy on Unreal Tournament?
I think
Right.
that was the point because
Same engine, right?
yeah,
It's
it's
the
not
same
real
engine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess
but
they
why
didn't
make the character?
technically.
Why make the
Right.
character? look the
Didn't
same?
Cliffy B work on Unreal Tournament or something? Like I thought there was a reason behind why he looked so much
Oh.
like him.
Ooh, fucking Unreal Tournament coming back? Like,
Oh
shit.
yeah, I forgot about
Like,
that.
what the fuck? Unreal
I
Champions
have
or
no
whatever?
idea. I'm just
Like,
brought it up.
I hope they don't turn it into just like a Team Fortress 2 or Overwatch, where you pick one hero and that hero has the rocket launcher, that one has the sniper rifle or something like that. Like I hope it's just
They probably will.
all out arena combat like they used to be. But yeah, when you were talking about bringing back dead series, can we talk about have we not really touched on Final Fantasy 15 yet? Cause that shit
Oh,
looked
Yeah.
bomb. Like, oh Wes, yeah, oh no, but those games were shit for a while. 12 is iffy, and I don't know why they're remastering 12, honestly. But oh yeah, yeah, my
how many
bad.
times
It's
did they
not
remaster
Unreal.
7?
It was Quake's coming back,
Quake.
but
Like
Yeah. Quake.
I feel
Um,
like Final every time there's an E3, there's an announcement for a remake of Final Fantasy VII, and I don't understand why that game has to be remade so many fucking times. Like I don't get it.
it's only been re-released on PS3, and now it's being remade. They haven't done it multiple times.
I don't know. Didn't it come with a game as well? One time, like 10, didn't it come with a copy of 10 or something like that?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that was like
no,
PS2.
yeah, I don't think it did.
I don't know. I just never
They
really
they
understood the
had a big deal
obsession
about
with
it when they announced that they're going to make it downloadable for PS3, which was great. And then they had the announcement where they're like, "Hey, remember how we had that demo and you all got super butthurt because we're like, oh, whoops, that wasn't actually a remake. We just wanted to show off the graphics to our new system." Well, now we're actually going to do that because we need money because our past 7 Final Fantasy 13 games aren't doing so great. And we
Yeah,
have this Final Fantasy 14 game that was supposed to be 13 verses 6 years ago. We're finally coming off that too, and that's why Kingdom Hearts 3 is taking so goddamn long to show up. We got all these games. Eventually, we're going to give them to you because we want your money, and we don't want to close our doors again.
This is so sad. I'm just tired of I need a roadmap of how to play any of these Final Fantasy games. Because it felt like they announced one game, they're like, oh, this is the new one. This has a new system, and then they're like, oh, what? We're also remaking this one here, and then there's this one here that's a part of this one, but we're all gonna release them all next year. Next year
And
coming
none of
out.
them get released
Right.
because
Yeah.
we were trying to work on this one. Skip
It'll be
this
in next
one.
year's E3, and they'll add another one to the lineup too.
But yeah, they'll have Final Fantasy 16. Lightning returns again.
There'll never be actual Final Fantasies releasing.
And they'll come out
Just
with
like
another
ones.
online version too, where you have to pay $50 to be a part of it per month.
I
They
mean,
plan on doing another online one, don't they? Or bringing back that one? I thought.
well, no, so Final Fantasy 11 was online, and it was kind of okay, but it started to die really soon, and then they took Final Fantasy 13 Versus or whatever and transformed that into a Realm
Into 14.
Reborn into 14,
Oh.
yeah, and that's online, and it's actually solid. It's solid as shit. For an online MMO like that, I mean, you're not going to topple the big dolls. WoW isn't going anywhere.
Dolls?
It's big dogs, yeah.
Mm.
um, the WoW isn't going to go anywhere. It's slowly declining in subs, but it still has more subs than any of the other ones out right now. And then once Legion comes out, everyone will jump back into it, and it'll probably break 7 million subscribers again. Probably 8. But yeah,
I,
so the last shitty one was really 13. 13 was shit. 15, they're going whole hog on 15, man. They're going whole hog on it. They're just grabbing it by the balls and
Oink,
just be
oink,
like,
motherfucker.
if this doesn't work, we're fucked.
All right, so I probably already know the answer to this question, and I wrote it really before E3 came out, before I read a whole lot about what was coming up. But I guess I could probably revise it a little bit. But was there any real tech demonstrated other than the VR? And I guess Jamar, we'll start with you because you've been the biggest VR fanboy. But what were your impressions of what you saw? Did it kind of exceed your expectations? Did it meet it? Yeah, I was waiting for this one. Did it meet it? I mean, is it? Do you really think that this is going to be pretty huge for Sony having this VR system come out?
I mean, Sony really technically didn't demo really well, far as VR. I mean, they just showed a bunch of games and were like, "Hey, this is gonna have full VR support," which is pretty cool. I like that we've seen actual full games. Of course, with Resident Evil having the VR support and seeing other little things that'll have added things on top of it. So I kind of like the direction they're going. It's one of those things. It's hard to demo VR because I think it was was it Ubisoft? That their demo, they had like 7 people with the VR headsets on
Yeah.
playing this game. It just looks so weird. And like, I mean, it was impressive, but at the same time, it was kind of like I
That
don't
was
really
that weird Hawk
care.
game, right? Where they were
Yeah,
like
it was like
catching dead
Eagle Eye or
bunnies.
Eagle View or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
I'm just like, okay, this is cool and all, but I
Yeah.
don't care about a game where I'm flying around picking up dead bunnies and dropping them in my nest.
I'm sure playing the game is actually a lot of fun, but like us watching it looks kind of silly.
Oh yeah.
I just want it, when it comes out, when Resident Evil hits the VR, I think we need a reaction video of Jamar playing it and shitting his pants every 5 minutes.
I mean, I personally feel like it's made for games like that. Like, it may not be as successful as they probably want it to be, but for games like that, it would definitely enhance the experience. You have to admit that.
It has to be as successful as they want it to be, or it's going to end up like the Move and the Kinect and the 3D gaming and every other fucking gimmick they've done in the past 10 years that's failed and they've just swept under the rug.
But if they're asking people to invest $300 or was it $400 into it, I mean, they gotta support it.
Can we talk about the
They
dildo
asked us
trigger?
to put $300 into a Vita and they didn't support
You
it.
guys, you
That was
do
a
realize
fucking handheld.
you know PlayStation is not the only company making a VR headset.
I'm aware, but they're the only ones making one that actually showed off good games.
Right. I mean,
Everyone else is like, look at our cartoony birds fly.
So like, look at the VR, like PlayStation VR looks better than I expected, to be honest. But then they release what the freaking gun looks like, and it looks like a dildo with a trigger. Like, that is the dumbest fucking design I have ever seen. Like, oh my god, I thought
I'm look it up now.
I was gonna actually
Let's
have
post a picture of that on the website.
I'll drop that into the group chat so no one else has seen it. But yeah, there's no way that I'm actually gonna use that, and I don't think that that's gonna be like the main way of playing the game. Obviously,
they said it's 1-to-1 movement for guns. So like, any game where you're holding a gun, I feel like that's what they're gonna want you to use.
So any game I get to hold this dildo, like, that's great.
Oh my god, that looks ridiculous.
and we're laughing at it, but like you said, I mean, when I saw the Wiimotes for the first time, I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Yeah, but they put a glowing red ball on the end and look like fucking Rudolph.
Well, yeah, that's how the
Rudolph that got turned into a sex machine.
I think I'm going to agree with Jamar. I think VR was the best tech out there, and I'm actually going to do a little sidebar. Jamar, are you looking at the Twitch chat that's been blowing up?
No, I haven't checked it.
You should.
Sonic Spike 101 said, "I hate TMNT" in all caps.
Oh my god.
Shots fired.
I'm getting in there and kicking him right now.
Time out. Time out.
Are you trying to show us the
Does that come
dildo gun?
across? Yeah, does that come across?
There you go. There you go. Yeah. There it is.
It's like a Rudolph dildo.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
Rudolph the red.
I want to kind of go on the side. Like, why did Microsoft? Maybe I missed it. Maybe I didn't watch all of Microsoft's thing. Did Microsoft show anything about their like augmented reality shit that they're working on, like that Minecraft that will be on your table and shit?
They talked about it a little bit, but that was about it. They didn't really show anything off.
Yeah,
from
like
half that I saw.
that's so surprising. Like, that's such cool technology. Like, you can do really cool things with it. I don't know that it will beat VR or that, you know, one or the other will triumph. I think they could probably coexist as both. Like, you know, we'll talk about this when we ever talk about VR as a whole thing.
Yeah, when October comes, we have our
Yeah,
Fight Club,
I think they can both
VR.
exist as niche products from these bigger companies and everything. But I'm so surprised they didn't push with that. That, you know, Sony's going to push VR because they have their own headset. Why are you not pushing your new tech? You're trying to push like, oh hey, we have a teraflop of power out of our new system that's not coming out for another fucking year. Like, who gives a shit? Like, I can put two GeForce, you know, the 1080s that just fucking came out in my computer for cheaper than that new fucking system's going to be, and run all the games that you said are going to come out because they're going to come out on Windows now. Why do I need a fucking Project Scorpio? Like,
I can't say, like, I mean, as far as tech goes, because I guess this still falls in line with everything, but even as the, you know, Sony fanboy, I do have to, like, give it to Microsoft because I understand what they're doing. They're not trying to invest a lot of money into it because obviously Sony has put a ton of money into PlayStation VR. Microsoft's doing the smart thing. What they're not trying to make with the Project Scorpio, they're not trying to make a system that's going to blow away any PC. It just needs to be powerful enough to run, say, like the Oculus. So then they could, you know, team up with the Oculus and make money and sell the headsets that way instead of putting money into making their own headset. Because the AR, the HoloLens is a completely separate company from the gaming department versus like that new X team or whatever the hell they call it.
The whole
It makes sense. It makes sense what they're doing.
But the whole thing about Project Scorpio is like, from what I've seen in interviews and stuff, is Microsoft wants a console that you can upgrade almost like it's a computer.
Well,
But it's never gonna
also,
work. You can upgrade your fucking computer.
They're
Like-
getting their ass whooped right now by Sony, so they want to also make a system that is going to eclipse or line up with what Sony is doing right now. So it's probably pretty evident that the Xbox One couldn't do anything with VR because the PlayStation 4 barely can. I think that was their main reason for Scorpio. I mean, outside of like the whole PC realm and trying to compete with that, because
But-
obviously it'd be with the.
But don't they have the same specs? The PS4 and the Xbox One, wasn't that like the big thing when they both got announced? Was they're equal now. There's not one that's more powerful than the other.
I mean, the PlayStation 4 has faster RAM in it right now. That's mainly what's giving them kind of like the urge and ease of processing on it. But
They need that teraflop though.
They need that teraflop. No, I think it's
Favorite
smart
word
with
ever.
Microsoft. I
Teraflop.
think it's smart what they're doing though.
Got teraflop.
All right,
with
well-
his dick on the screen.
Well,
Yeah,
so Jamar likes the teraflop, but we need to, get on to the next.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna have a whole show probably on
Yeah,
the VR
definitely.
when it comes out, so we'll get to all that later. But so just real quick, guys, like with E3 has kind of gone up and down through the years, but there's a whole other host of different electronic gaming shows and stuff like that. Wes, you're throwing me off right now, but so has E3 kind of been overshadowed by some of these other events? Like, what's your favorite expo event that comes out? Because E3 is kind of the start of it. Now the rest of them are coming out. Like for me, I really like the Consumer Electronics Show just because it showcases everything, not just video games, but there's always huge video game announcements at it as well. So kind of go around real quick. What do you guys like?
I guess I'll go first. Everyone's like, I don't think I follow any of this. No. I've always wanted to go to E3. E3 kind of is really what brought me into reading news and stuff. Like I would have never went to IGN or Game Facts or any of those websites or anything, or even bought magazines for that matter if it wasn't for E3. So I really, really do like E3, but I think it's smart with all the other companies like PSX is amazing, and of course now
penis sex. What?
PSX, which is PlayStation's own conference, which that's probably where they'll go into more detail about a lot of the games and stuff they announced. CES is probably awesome, but I feel like it lost a lot of its lackluster now. It is lackluster now. It doesn't have everything. Pretty much anything that is announced at CES comes out in 30 years because they just, I don't know, it's just weird. But yeah, I would say my favorite right now is PSX because they do it for the fans. E3's for media, PAX is pretty cool as well. But
All right, anybody else got anything before we move on?
I mean, E3's always great because it's like Christmas in fucking June, and it's right on my birthday usually every year, which is amazing. But I love Comic-Con because I love movies. Comic-Con's my fucking thing. I accept most excited for every year. I need to go to that.
Right?
Send me.
Fans, donate, and we'll make Fanboys make it to San Diego.
We'll do a live show.
We'll do an entire fucking documentary on it on the road trip and 9 yards.
It's
I
right
will
in my
find Daniel
backyard. I
Radcliffe
mean,
and punch him in the dick.
it only takes me 4 hours to drive there.
So we can all stay with the 300 other people that live in Jake's house.
You know, you guys don't even
Fanboy
notice.
dance party, man. Let's do
Hey
it.
guys, my couch pulls out. Just be warned, it doesn't mean I do.
Alright. So
I was waiting for it.
is that the line you use all the time?
That's how his Tinder dates end.
All right, so after a week off of our favorite segment is back with Vengeance. Mike, I think you already emailed your story that you just wrote 5 minutes ago. So,
I mean, it was 45 minutes ago at this point, but yeah, close enough.
fanboys and girls, sit crisscross applesauce on the carpet, grab an orange slice, catch a bubble, and get ready for Jamar's reading corner.
So I just have to like go to my email. I'm assuming that's where it is, right?
Yeah, it's in the Fanboy Fight Club email.
Let me switch it here.
You think you'd always have that up?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I have a lot of email accounts here. So I'm professional.
What are you, like, stealing people's identities and making a bunch of fake accounts? Or are you catfishing people? Why do you need so many emails?
Dude, coupons.
Coupons.
Oh man.
Oh,
Man. I'm
I also
sorry,
apologize in advance because I did not proofread this because I made it so quickly.
I can
So
tell.
if it doesn't make
He's
sense,
already going to fuck it up, and now it's going to be even worse.
right?
This is
It's going to
about-
be worse
I'm
than the one that
clear.
Jason wrote that I had to rewrite for him.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, Jason. I'm sorry. Just a heads up.
You can't read ahead, cocksucker.
I saw the email come through, so I saw like the first couple lines of it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and mute.
All right, here we go. Hello, my name is Jason, and this is a story of the Great Dick Potato War. The past. Hold on, Okay, never mind, we're good. The year was 1942. I was Oh God, this is. Let me start over. I'm gonna get this one pretty perfect. Okay. The year was 1942. I was a mere young man at the time. It said that time. Just barely growing peach fuzz on my balls. The potatoes had just sprouted from the ground. There was a lot of judgment of the potatoes. Wait, I'm sorry, Mike. You got me fucked up on this one, man. All right, the potatoes had just sprouted from the ground, which you said grown. There was a lot of judgment on the potatoes. People were having a hard time accepting them in our society. Then one day, everything took a turn for the worse. One of the potatoes butt raped a local mayor. Normally, this would be simple matter for the police, but the mayor became infected and quickly turned into a dick potato. This became known as potato AIDS. The people turned on the potatoes so fast, the war started almost immediately. I was drafted to the military shortly after. The war went on for months. I've seen potatoes get mashed, boiled, fried, and baked. I also saw many friends get taken by dick potatoes. Then the fateful day came. The the day a dick potato snuck into my virgin butthole. At first I screamed and cried, but then I began to love dick potatoes. And now even after the war, I can't get enough of them. The end.
Wow. All right. Thanks.
Oh my gosh.
Mike, your obsession with dick potatoes is starting to get a little disturbing.
It's
That
my
was-
obsession with your obsession with dick potatoes.
That's what I was gonna say. It's
Yeah,
more
it's
not
my
his
obsession.
It's
It's his obsession with me and dick potatoes.
oh my gosh. Just for like any of our viewers who are probably like, what the fuck is this all about? A little bit of backstory to this on top of the story that I just read.
And the first one.
Right. And the first one, yes, that you can check out on the website. Upon the creation of like this idea to do a podcast, Jason was in a group chat and had us muted. So we just started posting pictures of how much Jason loves dick potatoes, and he couldn't fend for himself because he was muted the entire time.
That's not
No,
how it
it's
started.
forever been
Well,
all
the way it
gone.
went down was
That
we
was.
just called Jake a dick potato, and I said, please tell me that someone has Googled that and knows what it looks like, and no one did. So I fucking grew up here and Googled it and screenshot it and posted it, and then we somehow
So-
turned into Jason loving dick potatoes.
I was
Well-
more so going on like the love of Jason, and between Jason and Dick Potatoes is where that was created
Oh.
from.
Well, you know, dick potatoes and
It's-
Jason's the funnest to pick on, so they go hand in hand.
We also changed the name
Yes.
while he was muted.
Oh,
We changed
yeah.
the name
Yeah.
of the group chat
The
to
group.
Jason Loves Dick Potatoes. And then once he did that, he got super mad and asked us to change it. And I don't to this day I don't know that it's changed.
Oh yeah, we changed it once we
I
made
wasn't-
Fanboy Fight Club.
I wasn't super mad. I was
Oh,
just,
you were salty as fuck.
I was just
He
kind
was
of
mad.
like,
You
I
went
was
full
kind of
tilt.
annoyed.
You were full tilt on that one.
Full tilt, yeah.
Yeah, it all started because of ROMs and emulators. Whenever I showed an emulator I liked on a Mac, and Jake was like, "Oh, I can build that." I'm like, we're not talking about who can carve dicks out of potatoes.
That is true.
All right. Well, now that we have the origin story behind baked potatoes behind us. So we're going to close a nice show with the only rule of Fanboy Fight Club, and that is you must talk about Fanboy Fight Club. If you're listening on Twitch next week, please bring a friend. Like us, share us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at FBFC Podcast. Email us your feedback at fanboyfightclub@gmail.com. Check out our awesome website, fanboyfightclub.com. Enjoy all the content on our YouTube channel. Is there anything I'm forgetting other than that?
No,
Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, website. That's all I can think of.
I mean, we can go through our individual, Twitter handles again, and if someone wants to fight us, we can fight us individually.
All that's on the website. Go to the
that's
website,
true.
find our individual Twitter handles, tweet at us. So we want to give a big thank you to everybody who did join us on Twitch today. It looks like we had probably one of the biggest turnouts that we've had for a podcast. That's awesome. Thank you guys for joining us. Also, a special shout out to anybody that downloads us on Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes, or anything like that throughout the week. So before we check out, any quick final thoughts from everybody? Anybody?
I might have a cam next week, but no one will see it anyway because my face stays in the corner. Woo woo.
Jamar, what's up, man?
Oh no, I was just gonna say it was a good idea, which you just put in the chat. If anybody wants to write in, and we're gonna of course proofread them. Well, I won't, but that's kind of smart.
All right, I'll say, "What's up, Tiffany? Polo Loco, when's your vagina?"
All right. It's a man.
It was from the Twitch chat, Mike. I see your face. I see your face.
I don't have that up right now, and I'm just like, why are we telling people want each other's hoo-has? What the fuck's going on here, guys? This isn't Pornhub. You can't watch us on VR.
Hey, look, I'm Jake.
We might have a different format next week. I'm going to talk to the guys about switching up so we can have everyone on camera at once I get a camera. So look forward to that, guys.
I thought he acts like it's his idea. Oh, I'm gonna talk to the guys and we're gonna make this happen, guys. Even though 4 out of 5 members already got cameras, but no, it's my idea.
I'll try and get a new camera so it actually appear full screen, unlike this little short letter box that I'm in now. So, all right, so
shitty standard definition.
I'll leave you with this. Will Jake finally get a webcam? Will Mike actually come prepared? Will Wes get his Crash Bandicoot wet dream realized? Will Jamar read another story that involves a penis? Find out all the answers to these questions and more next week on the Fanboy Fight Club podcast.
But the answers are no, and yes.